Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. If you're loving what you're hearing on the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, go out and tell 2 friends today. Show them how easy it is to subscribe to the show. The Real Estate Espresso Podcast is available on more than 20 different platforms, and wherever you listen to podcasts, you're sure to find the Real Estate Espresso Podcast. Go spread the love around. Why keep all this goodness to yourself? On today's show, we're talking about uncertainty. We can all agree that not everything in life is predictable. Life is full of surprises, some pleasant and some not. It's been said that a confused mind doesn't buy. That's particularly true in the world of investing. Investors seek clarity. Things that are too complicated, have too many variables, or have large unknowns, they're off the table. Investors are a special breed. Professional investors are relying upon their money working for them, and professional investors truly attempt to quantify what their money is going to do for them. Investors hate uncertainty. Anywhere you see uncertainty, you will see falling prices. Who would buy real estate in the Ukraine right now? Who would buy real estate today and take a variable interest rate loan? Anyone with a brain knows that interest rates are heading higher, but how much higher? The person who bought a fleet of airplanes hoping to lease them to airlines might now face an uncertain future. Would you invest in that aircraft business today? I wouldn't. Investors hate uncertainty. If you buy a property in a community that's dominated by a single employer, you're highly vulnerable to that single employer. I see this in towns where, for example, there's a large military base. While staff are on the base, demand for properties is high. As soon as they deploy to a situation anywhere in the world, whether it's a peacekeeping mission or a hot zone, vacancies shoot up. As a landlord, you've no recourse in situations like that. Would I invest in a market that was highly dominated by military employment? No, I wouldn't. It has too much uncertainty. I used to see situations like this in the tech industry. A new technology startup would invent the next greatest innovation. Before they had any sales, they were not a threat to anyone. In the first few years of sales, they had a small market share and were still not a threat to the entrenched players. And then all of a sudden, they become visible as a threat. And a large established player would serve them with a patent litigation lawsuit. I've seen Intel do it. I've seen Qualcomm do it. I've seen Philips do it, just to name a few. Most of these patent infringement lawsuits are frivolous. In fact, it's happened to me. Our team received a letter from Intel Corporation claiming that one of our products infringed on 5 of their patents. We were able to demonstrate the suit was frivolous, and it actually didn't apply to our products. Ultimately, we were able to successfully defend against the patent infringement lawsuit. The aggressor will threaten the company with an injunction on the sale of product, or perhaps a royalty payment that stands to cut heavily into the profit potential for the company. And as soon as that happens, no investor is willing to invest in the company. No lender will extend new credit. The unbounded liability is too uncertain for investors to put their capital at risk. In these circumstances, uncertainty is used as a weapon to attack competitors. I call it the weaponization of uncertainty. In less extreme situations, many of these uncertainties can be bounded and quantified. Will the 5th wave of the pandemic cause an economic contraction? Will there be another lockdown? Uncertainty can also bring bargains to the savvy investor. For example, will interest rates go up? When will they go up? How much will they go up? We can model these situations. See, uncertainty is another word for risk. A risk is only a risk if it's outside your plan. If you've already assumed that lumber is, say, 25% more expensive, and your project budget still works with that higher price, well, you're in a strong position should prices change for the better. When you see a slowdown, you often see an overreaction to market conditions. The market can switch from being a seller's market to being a buyer's market in a fairly short time period. That shift can happen quickly, but by the time the data has been compiled, it's already transitioned from a seller's market to a buyer's market. The time when the market was balanced was often no more than a fleeting few weeks. We don't know what will be the trigger for the next economic downturn. Will it be a pandemic? Will it be a sovereign debt crisis? Will it be a country like Brazil, Turkey, or Argentina defaulting on its debt? Will it be the result of conflict, maybe involving Russia or China? Will the hoarding of inventory during the pandemic be the trigger for the next economic downturn? I know some builders that are holding inventory of material purchased at the peak of the market, which is more expensive on their books than new inventory to replace it. So there's uncertainty. That's nothing new. The question is, how do you quantify those bets and make sure you've developed some safety nets in your plans that can handle those changes, if and when they occur? As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.